was not anticipating how much makeup we would need today. Test, test. Should I fall down? Thanks, guys. This is awesome. You're helping. 6, 5, 4, 3. Welcome, everyone, and a giant thank you for joining us for our Emerging Leaders exhibition today. A lot of you have been working so hard. A giant thank you to our staff, our board members, mentors, mentees, and our sharks today, which I'd like to introduce just quickly. And instead of me standing up here and rattling off all the amazing achievements, I thought we'd do a little bit more interactive introduction. And so if we could just start left to right with you guys, just a quick intro of your name and why you're here.
Public Relations Manager for Gila River Hotels and Casinos. I'm also a member of the Gila River Indian community. And a big part of my responsibility is handling the corporate social responsibility as well for our organization. And part of my duties in enjoying what I do is actually being able to see the dollars and the hard work that the volunteer efforts that our employees get to participate in every year. So that's a big part of my responsibility, and I love it, and I love seeing the impact that we make.
Thank you, Tia.
Good morning, Ana Maria Maldonado with Phoenix International Consultants, partner and specialize in strategic partnerships. I've been in healthcare for the last 20 years. In the last 3, I've began consulting. My passion, life's passion, professional passion has been underserved communities. I come from it by my lineage, social activist, social justice. And I've been blessed enough to be at the table in managed care, the health plan, the bank of healthcare, really, and really broadening our perspective and horizon on social determinants before it became a key contributor to overall health, and now have taken that experience to other entities within the community that are looking to partner with the healthcare vertical, if you will, on overall community health. So clients such as the Phoenix IDA, Equality Health, and then some others.
Thank you, Ana Maria.
Hey everyone, my name is Kim Ho, and I am the Director of Sales at Evolved MD. And basically we put therapists and counselors into primary care. So that's been a passion of mine around mental health. And then before that, I've actually came from Phoenix Children's Hospital Foundation in corporate development. So I know exactly how you guys are feeling today, and excited to help you figure out, what project is going to really elevate Valleywise. So happy to be here.
Thank you for being here, Kim.
Good morning. I'm Adam Goodman. Camera 1 here. Is that where I should be looking? I'm Adam Goodman. I'm the CEO of Goodman's Interior Structures. We're a 67-year-old third-generation office furniture business. That's what we do. But why we do it is because we want to make an impact in the community. We are a B Corp. That stands for Benefit Corporation. If you don't know what that means, you're part of the 99% who doesn't understand what that means. What that means is, whereas every business that's ever existed since the beginning of time exists for the purpose of creating wealth for the investors and the shareholders, a B Corp says, no, that's not why we exist. We exist for the community, our environment, and our people. Of course, we need a profit to survive, and our investors certainly want a return. But the point of the company, the purpose, is to make an impact in the community. We're here because we are passionate about what Valleywise does, serving underserved populations. It's a critical need in the community, and you guys are doing a great job, and we're proud to be part of it.
And I think both of us are Phoenix Metro High School graduates.
Central High.
Central High. But both I'm North High. But we both graduated from the same school district.
Mars. Might as well be Mars.
Yeah.
I'm Central High.
Good to be surrounded by natives. I'm a St. Mary's grad. Brandon Clark, co-founder, CEO of Startup AZ, the local nonprofit. We incubated at the Arizona Community Foundation for a couple years and then spun out into a freestanding C3 2 years ago. We exist to support the entrepreneurial community here, and we do that a couple different ways, including working with cohorts of founders at fairly early stages of their company growth and helping them accelerate creating jobs. in a lot in the similar mission as Goodman's, because we feel that today's entrepreneurs are tomorrow's philanthropists, and it's an important role that they accept in not only company building, but building companies that give back to the community. I can't speak for the rest of the judges, but I can be bribed.
Brandon, I think you have a fellow St. Mary's graduate with Anna Maria. Leah.
Good morning. I'm Leah Christensen, and maybe I'm the only non-native Phoenix person up here. I've been in the Valley about 6 months, came to work here at Valleywise Health. So first of all, as a representative of the healthcare system, thank you so much to all of you who are participating today and a part of the Emerging Leader Program. One of my personal passions is mentorship. So I love the efforts and the work from the foundation in this space, so appreciate that. And then, of course, Valleywise serves the underserved, and I have a passion and a desire to remove barriers for healthcare. And so we do that every day in many ways at Valleywise and with partners, many of you in this room who partner with us. So thanks to all of you.
Thank you, Leah.
So Adam, I am also a Central grad.
Look at this.
After a short stint at Xavier. So I'm Kate Hickman.
Yeah.
I wish. Okay, Kate Hickman. I'm at Western Alliance Bank. I've been there since we opened 18 years ago. So one of the things that I've been able to do with the bank as we've grown and become bigger is I work very closely with our CRA officer to make sure that we are supporting organizations in this community that really need that help. And a lot of them are in the medical field, education, children. Those have kind of been our focuses around here. So I'm very excited to be a part of this, to hear what you guys have to say and see your presentations.
It's amazing. Thanks for being here, Kate. So I now want to introduce our MCs for today, and a huge thank you to Liz Agbula. Similar to what you said, Brandon, is that we saw this as a way to give back to these young leaders, as a way to invest in the future of their life, but in a way that they could see the impact that we all needed to make, and thus call forth a greater version of themselves in an effort to give back. I had the same experience on our board and then now on staff. Liz was someone that bought into the vision of this, but then took it to a whole new special level, bringing some incredible programming, so her in-depth knowledge of mentorship and leadership programming, but also in her foresight to see that diversity needed to be at the core of this. And so just a huge thank you for Liz's belief in ourselves and our staff. So with that being said, Liz Agbula, and then our other MC, another person I have to be incredibly grateful for. She did not see the vision in this. That was before Liz's involvement. But with that being said, she came in courageously and got her and her staff behind all of the hard work that it's taken to stand this up. And it has taken a Herculean effort by our entire staff. We really thank you for being here, and we thank all the mentees for coming with these ideas on how we get to the root of things, which is fundraising for community health. So with that being said, our MCs for today, Liz and Kate.
Thank you, all of you for being here. I know you've worked so hard on these projects. I've received a lot of your calls, so thanks for always reaching out in case you needed anything. And, you know, just like you're doing now, the goal is to continue to reach out to those leaders that you've built these relationships with, not just your mentors, obviously, but everybody who's here, everybody who you've cultivated those relationships with in the last, 8 months now? Has it been 8 months? Yeah? Okay, perfect. And so I also want to say a huge thanks, obviously, to Nate. Nate for even allowing this to happen, right? I mean, this was such a huge endeavor for all of us. We didn't realize how much time it would take, but the entire staff really rallied behind us. Alicia, Sal, Patty, really came together. All of this really started happening in the middle of COVID. Actually, we're still in the middle of COVID, but the beginning. And so it really gave us a lot of time to dig and dive into, what this curriculum would look like, how we're selecting the mentors, how we're selecting the mentees, and I feel like we've done such a tremendous job. So thank you, each of you, for giving us your time, for sparing, that last hour of your day, just working on this, giving up time with your family to be with us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know if, Katie, you want to say anything before we start?
Sure. Well, first off, as Nate pointed out, this was not something that I immediately jumped on board with, just knowing the size and capacity of our staff. So when Liz brought this idea, I thought, oh my gosh, how are we going to do this? Because it really needs somebody that can dive into it and really engage with these mentees and the mentors to make it a really engaging experience. So Liz did an amazing job of putting the backbone to this together. Alicia, Sel, Patty, everybody who came on board, Melissa DeCesare on our staff who really helped lead this, and Michaela and Elon did an amazing job as well, just making every session with our mentors, our mentees, and our guest speakers so informative and engaging. So I really appreciate all that you guys have done. We're really excited to have all of you here. Obviously, you all were chosen because we felt like there was something that you could give to our mentees, and your engagement within the community is so incredible. So we're so happy and so thankful to have you all here, and hopefully this is not the last time that we get to see you and engage with each of you. And to our mentors, thank you for taking so much time with our mentees, giving them so much advice and opportunity to grow as young leaders in our community and within their organizations, and to bring that culture of philanthropy to their organizations. So we really appreciate each of you. So I guess we're kicking it off. Yes. All right.
So our first team are the Innovators, right here. Perfect. We have Jonah, April, Madeline, Bridget. And is Deanne here today? Deanna? Yeah? And Edmundo. Are you coming up on stage with them? Okay, so perfect. So without further ado, our first presenters. Good luck, everybody.
Clicker issues. There we go.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. Our team is so proud to be standing in front of you today. It's clear how much hard work has gone into creating this program for us, and we are all so grateful to be involved. Without further ado, we're going to get into our community engagement project. All the judges have been handed a flyer with our photos and our purpose statements, so we hope that you take a look at that. And so, again, without further ado, let's get into it. We are the Innovators.
Hi, I'm April Sardilla. I'm a senior clinical nurse of Valleywise Health. I'm Bridget Gesser. I'm an architect specializing in behavioral health and trauma-informed design.
Hello, my name is Jonah Rodriguez, and I'm a Hispanic marketing coordinator for the Arizona Coyotes.
And I'm Madeline Lewis. I'm a JD student at the ASU Sandra Day O'Connor College of Law.
So our team are here to present to you our engagement project. We have developed how we would be engaging to our community, and our objective would be, in this community engagement project, we would like to engage millennial donors. So in developing our community engagement project, we thought that it is very important to see how it is important and the relevance with millennials. So we had an extensive research and statistics regarding our community project, and we found out that according to the statistics, 23% of the population of Phoenix is made out of millennials. Phoenix is also among the top cities where millennials move into. According to statistics, we are in top 3. Furthermore, as you can see in the slide, most millennials are giving more than the other generations, and based on statistics, compared with baby boomer and Generation X, millennials give more. That means this would support our engagement project on how we would engage millennials. So after having research on what is the importance and the relevance to the millennials, it is also important to develop the project and make sure that we know how millennials gives. So based on our research, we could see there that millennials are very cautious on how they give. They thought about it, and they want to be engaged on how they give. They make sure that they know where their money is going from. So it's very important to let them engage and be with us and build trust with us in engaging with this project. Also, millennials give importance to giving. So statistics shows that millennials are known that giving is part of their identity. So when they try to give, they try to engage. At the same time, we build longer and deeper connections with them, not only because of monetary amount, but also connections at the same time, giving a relationship with others and with millennials as us. When it comes to technology use, millennials are also part of it. We all know that technology is changing, and millennials are very good at that. And we also find out that when it comes to fundraising and awareness, social media is very important. And understanding how social media would impact our givers and donors is very important. Lastly, based on our research and our community engagement development, we found out that millennials are very interested in experiences. They spend more on experiences and outdoor activities rather than things. So 73% of millennials would love to go on outings or experiences rather than buying things. So it shows that as we develop our community projects, we found out that experiences is a very good way for them to attract and for them to engage in our community objectives.
So we present to you the Valleywise Health Foundation Game Night. So this is a 4-hour open house style event where millennials can pop in for some food and drink. They can participate in the virtual auction. They can play some of their favorite nostalgic oversized games. But most importantly, they can kickstart that relationship between themselves and the Valleywise Health Foundation. The event will take place at the Churchill. This is an outdoor covered courtyard. It's 9,000 square feet. It's home to 10 local businesses and currently attracts a crowd that matches that demographic that we're looking to engage. It's important to us, the health and safety of our guests, and so we have an open, that's why we selected an open kind of air space and that is outdoors. The Churchill has an Instagram following of 25,000 that is made up of primarily Arizona millennials, and this partnership is going to be strategic in expanding our audience. So fundraising takes place in 2 forms, through ticket sales and through our virtual auction. Tickets are $10 each. You get admission to the event and a free drink. You can purchase these online before the event, starting on our virtual auction launch date, or you can purchase them at the door. Our virtual auction will be hosted on RallyUp, which is a reputable fundraising source that our team has experience using. The auction items will either be donated by businesses or will partner with community members to underwrite the auction items. And this is a working list that we prepared that are experience-based items that we think will attract our demographic. So our timeline, we will launch our advertising and our virtual auctions 6 weeks prior to the event. The advertising will include social media posts, targeted ads, Eventbrite listings, and distribution to the existing email lists among the Valleywise Health Foundation. We will also participate in Sidewalk Saturdays. This is an event that is run by the Churchill. It takes place right in front of their venue, and they set up a market where vendors set up a booth. So we'll set up a booth and advertise the event, sell tickets, advertise the virtual auction, which will be live at that time, and most importantly, engage with the community and be there on behalf of Valleywise Health Foundation. So the virtual auction will be up for 6 weeks. This is our attempt to engage much beyond just the individuals who attend the event. And then this closes the night of the event at midnight. And we are very excited about kind of wrapping up this project and being able to leave a donation. But what we have learned is that deep relationships with our donors is tremendously more valuable than a single monetary donation. And so that engagement that we'll be doing and the staged booths at the game night are really going to be the catalyst for us to educate and connect with those future millennial donors.
All right, so I will be going over the floor plan just to help with the visual and go over the logistics. So guests will enter through the west side of the courtyard, where they will present either their proof of a ticket or purchase a ticket. In exchange, they will receive their ticket voucher and a voting stub for our all-in campaign. Once they're in, they can go ahead and take that drink ticket to the bar, which will be on the east side of the courtyard. They can turn in that voucher for one free soda, beer, or wine. Anything beyond that, drinks will be available for purchase. We'll also include some specialty cocktails, so it will not just be limited to beer and wine. On the southwest of the courtyard, we will have our voting booth for our all-in campaign. Based on our research, like you guys learned about, we learned that millennials are more likely to give when they're more involved and into the decision of where the money would go to. So we kind of deviated a little bit from the rubric, which was to just pick one pillar to donate all the money to. We're going to kind of leave it up to the guest and hopefully have some monitors or laptops to kind of show some information to kind of give more interaction to the donors so they could kind of know where their money's going to. On the northwest side of the courtyard, we will have displays of our auction items. Since it's more experience-based, we can't really, we don't have actual items to display, so we will have a kind of a display it like that, which will feature a barcode, which you can scan it, and it will take you directly to where you can bid on the experiences. And finally, on the south end of the courtyard, we will include some information booths. This is kind of our way of giving more than just a monetary donation to Valleywise. We want to be sure to engage the millennials and kind of help Valleywise gain their exposure to millennials. And then finally, the whole interior of the courtyard will be all our fun little games and where millennials can go and connect and just interact with each other. Yeah.
To show you what we mean, we have brought some oversized nostalgic games. We're having some difficulties with this one. We're still getting comfortable, but we're having fun, and that's what's important. The games that we have chosen are easy to play with one or two other people. This will give people a chance to engage with other community members, woohoo, other millennials. They're safe to play in a group environment, and most importantly, they are really fun. So we have our beanbag buckets over here, a little vertical cornhole. We have our oversized Connect 4, and we have darts. And I know what you're thinking. Darts are safe to play in a community environment. Don't worry, they're Velcro. It's a little touchy. There we go. I want to tell you a little bit about our budget for this event. We were told that to keep to a budget of $10,000 to put on this event. We have found ways in planning this to keep our costs low, and we hope to spend no more than. As far as outreach, the capacity for the event will be 400 people. With $10 tickets, that's $4,000 profit alone. For our auction sales, we hope to reach a goal of $10,000 or more. We plan to reach these Arizona millennials through social media, as we have mentioned. We've actually already been in contact with the Churchill, and they are really excited about this idea and would be happy to help. So those upwards of 30,000 Instagram followers that they have, they would be happy to help us advertise. Our research has shown that when you outreach on social media, you generally reach about half those people. So we're hoping to reach about 15,000 people at a minimum. Finally, we want to involve all of our fellow emerging leaders. The way that we've decided to do this is that the four of us will each head a committee that other emerging leaders can volunteer to help us with. What's really great about this program is that we are all very different. We have very different interests and skills that we can bring together and make this a great event. I personally am interested in heading the auction committee, and we all have different interests. We also have an operations committee, a vendor coordination committee, and a community engagement and marketing committee. In conclusion, we came to this idea because we thought that it would be a great way to bring millennial members of the community together, play some fun games, talk with each other, educate the community about Valleywise and all of the great things that they do. We're focusing this event on having fun, education, hopefully bringing Valleywise benefits beyond just monetary donations, but also people in the community who want to get involved. So we hope that you guys are excited about these games as we are, and thank you so much for listening.
Cues, so please make sure you can pay attention to that. But go ahead, Sharks, with questions.
Okay, I have a question about the budget. You had an alcohol budget of $280 and an attendance of 400 people. Did you guys strike a deal with the Churchill? Are you providing your own alcohol? How is that going to work?
So the first drink upon entrance will be free with their ticket purchase. The drinks are limited to, the free drinks are limited to soda, beer, and wine. There's a vendor that we will be able to bring in our own alcohol. They will serve it for us at the Churchill, and then every drink beyond that, the Churchill will kind of make cocktails at their bar, and then you pay. Guests will pay for any drink beyond that. So whatever we have left over that's unopened, we'll also be able to return. So we'll have a limited drink selection and be able to stay within the allowance.
Good job, guys. I guess a similar question. I saw the marketing budget was like $250. Like, what's the hook? How do you get, like, millennials have choices on things that they do in the evenings. Churchill's a great venue, so that's super smart. But what's the hook to get them in? Then second to that, what's the outcome after they've experienced the event? Like, how do you keep them engaged?
Yeah, so I think to get them in the door, that's really where the strategic partnership with the Churchill comes in. We want to go to where they are, and also some of that outreach beforehand. It's really going to take some engagement with them, but also that's how we build relationships with long-term donors and really attract them to kind of be involved with us in the future. And then the idea for after the event, those staged booths are going to be critical, and they're going to be run by whether they're emerging leaders, team members, or some of the Valleywise Foundation team members, but really engaging with them there. There will be opportunities to learn about this program, sign up, get on the email list, follow up after. So it will help us expand that list.
I think another perk of this that will bring people in is that, it's not just a night out. It's a time to go out and meet other people and play some games and learn about Valleywise. I think that a lot of millennials want to get more involved in their community, and sometimes events that help them do that are not necessarily geared towards the things that they like to do. We didn't want to, put just a speaker up there and talk to people. We want people to be able to engage with each other, engage with Valleywise, and have fun at the same time.
I also wanted to add regarding after this program, what would be the importance is millennials would be aware what is the purpose, what is the mission, what is the objective of Valleywise Health Foundation. At the same time, as they engage to that, what are the experiences that they would be learning?
Any of you all have a question?
Great job, you guys. I wanted to ask, how did you guys figure out what to charge? And did you ever consider potentially charging more or making a donation option?
We definitely thought that, it might be worth it to charge more. We decided on $10, not as really a set price, but we wanted to keep it low enough to where people, it was accessible for everyone in the community. We didn't want to exclude certain groups of people because they don't want to pay $100 or $200 for a ticket. So we wanted to keep that low and hope that we bring in fundraising through that virtual auction that we've extended for the 6 weeks before the event. But really, we just wanted it to be as inclusive as possible. And so that's why we kept the ticket price low.
Y'all want to ask a final question? So great job. It's terrific. It's super exciting. Love the idea of the Churchill attracting the audience. I'm skeptical of the idea that these tables are going to be engaging and educating people. I'm imagining, like, when the guy at the airport is trying to sell me a Southwest Airlines credit card, I can move around him so quickly, and that's what I'm seeing at this party. They just kind of scoot around the table. How do you really expect to engage people?
I'll just touch on it quickly, and if anyone else wants to, but our all-in campaign where we can have guests vote on where our fundraising ultimately goes, which pillar it goes to, I think that will really help. We also want to not feel like we need to grab everyone's individual attention, but we want to be showing projected videos about each pillar throughout the night so that people can play and watch. And ultimately, we believe that millennials will want to learn and engage because of that opportunity to vote on where their money is going.
Yeah, I'll say we certainly do not disagree with you. It's very difficult. And so in our proposal, we have done multiple points of outreach, and that's kind of our intent, is come up with multiple ways to engage with different individuals. So.
Amazing. Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys so much.
I'll let you clear the games, although maybe our Sharks might want to play after. Yeah. Free games after the session. So fabulous job. Thank you all for bringing such great ideas. Our next group is the Legacy Leaders. So we have Tim Stroud joining us here in person, and we have Marina Sandoval virtual, led by two mentors, Paula Bomarito and Ren Yazbak-Hamilton.
Testing, testing.
Okay.
Good
Perfect.
morning, everyone. Testing. Hi, Marina. Hi.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tim Stroud. I work for PHI Air Medical. I am a flight paramedic. We came together to present some of our ideas for outreach. Specifically, we are looking at burn survivorship and the burn center. Hey, there she is. Sorry, I don't do much public speaking, and I don't know how much virtual stuff Marina's done, but we're going to try and work together here today to make it happen.
Guys, buenos dias, everyone. Coming to you live from Denver, Colorado. I'm so sorry I could not be there today, but I'm very excited to present this community engagement project. We have been working very hard, as well as everyone else, presenting today. So, buenos dias Valleywise leader. So before we get into our community project, I do want to give us an opportunity to introduce ourselves. So Paula and Ren, I don't know if you guys are sharing the stage with Tim right now, or if there's an opportunity for you to introduce yourselves. If not, that's totally fine. So yes, our mentors, our wonderful, fabulous mentors are Paula and Ren. And then Tim, he introduced himself already. My name is Marina Sandoval, and I am the Vice President of Community and Partner Engagement with Noble Community Activators. We are the bridge from good organizations and brands into the Latino community. We specialize in community activations as well as marketing, PR, and digital strategy. And we also have Olivia Mozillo, who unfortunately is not able to be with us today, but she's definitely with us in spirit and has been one of the huge driving forces of our community engagement as well. All right, so I'm going to pass it over to you, Tim, to cover our area of focus and also the mission of the Arizona Burn Center.
Yeah, so I feel personally connected to the Burn Center and to Valleywise. Let me back up. So I've been a paramedic since about 2009, 2010. Worked in a really rural community in between Globe and Safford. And it was a high volume, really dense with traumas and illnesses and sicknesses. And so I spent, the last 10 years just really immersed in the community. And one of the great things that happened, we had people like Susan Buchanan that would come out and do some outreach with us, especially on the burn side. We did see a lot of burn traumas. So having been exposed to a lot of that, boots on the ground, it's always been really prominent in kind of my focus on things. Especially we get a lot of pediatric burns, and without going into stories, it's pretty it's a lot more common than you would actually think would happen. I think in some of the research that I did, I saw 6,000 patients go through the burn center every year. I mean that's a ton. It's amazing. And what I've come to learn, and one of the things that we want to do to reach out when we start teaching and doing this outreach education, is to let people know that it's not just the initial burn that's the insult. It is the amount of care that goes into taking care of these people afterwards. You have, until I was really involved, I had no idea of how many disciplines were involved in taking care of these people post-burn. So psychologists, nutritionists, people that are helping these burn patients try to, keep their calories up so that they can fight this wound care, physical therapy. It goes on, and the fact that these people having to spend so much time in the burn center, to me it's astounding. I still find it incredibly remarkable. There's a few things that I also like. So, here's one statistic that I always think is amazing. Per 1% burn on a body equals 1 day in the burn center. So we have a video coming up here in a little bit, just a quick excerpt on one of the burn survivors, Isabella, who had 50% burns across her body, was kind of nationally known as a result of her traumas, to the point where even Taylor Swift came in and visited her. So that was, great recognition for the work that was being done through Valleywise, and just her attitude in general. Like, this little girl, now wants to become a burn nurse so that she can help people that helped her, because she's truly empathetic in that situation. There's other outreach things I talked about, with Susan Buchanan, but also burn camp. Burn camp, I didn't really know about it until I started working with a nurse with PHI who is heavily involved with the burn camp. And every year up in Prescott, you know, these kids get to come up, and some of them have grown into adults and still continue to come to this burn camp. And they get to do things that they might not have been able to do, ride horses, high ropes course, you know, archery, things like that. So one of the passions or one of the things that I find amazing is how much outreach and how much care goes into these patients after the initial burn. I'll turn it back over to Marina here for a little bit.
All right, so thank you so much, Tim. So as he mentioned, we do have just a short clip of a video that was put together by the Valleywise team, and it does highlight Isabella's story. And again, it's just really focusing on the quality care that Isabella received when she was at the Arizona Burn Center.
The day that I got to leave the hospital was so amazing. Dr. Foster took out my PICC line, and that means it's time to go out. All the nurses were lined up in the hallway. They had a cake for me. The superheroes were there, and it was just so much fun. Then I got to meet the first responders that came when I got burned.
This little 9-year-old girl demonstrated, maturity and poise way beyond her years. Although I see where she gets it. She gets it from her parents.
I mean, we were there for 9 months. Everyone there is just amazing at what they do. It's something that I'll remember forever.
All the nurses and techs and doctors always try to do their best to help you with everything you need. And because of that, I want to be a burn nurse. I can be an inspiration for other people. I can be the reason that some people might want to fight through this. But I'm still just the normal kid that goes to school, has homework, does chores.
What I want for my sister, I just want her to be treated normal. I don't want anyone to put her out of the way or not include her because of what happened to her.
I want her to live every day to the fullest. I want her to leave the pain because there's no room for it anymore in her life.
I just want her to always be happy. Strong, happy, confident, to be where every decision and everything she goes after is what would have normally been.
I consider my scars as my badges of honor. I have gone through this. I can get through anything the world throws at me.
Right, so that is Isabella's very powerful story, and it's just one example of the many survivors that Valleywise has helped recover. And so really quickly, I'll go over our campaign summary. So our campaign is going to be revolving around our Emerging Leaders Networking Mixer. And so the objective of this mixer is to connect like-minded individuals in the Valley who are passionate about helping a greater cause and growing in their professional journey. So it's no secret that we have some of the most distinguished leaders within this program, both mentors and mentees. And so we really want to attract our audience by utilizing some of these larger and more well-known organizations in the Valley who are also partnered with this leadership program to invite them to the mixer. Our target audience is other emerging leaders or millennials who seek mentorship and well-established business professionals who desire to teach future leaders. We also believe it's important to understand that there is hope for these patients, and once they leave the doors of Valleywise, and that the Valleywise has given them the tools and strength to be successful. So along with this mixer, the educational aspect of this is going to be huge. So we want to make sure that we do have videos like Isabella's on the screens, pictures of burn survivors, their caregivers, and also the Valleywise team that has taken care of them throughout their entire journey throughout the event. So for our campaign strategy, we really want to focus on 3 main areas. So one is build capacity. We want to present data-driven information about the impact of the Valleywise Burn Center. We also want to increase awareness of the life-saving services offered through the Burn Center and share the stories of the survivors treated at the center. And finally, fundraise. We want to raise funds to continue supporting Valleywise services to our vulnerable populations. So as I mentioned, our target market is diverse millennial professionals. So you'll notice the term diverse millennial professionals. We felt it was so important that the attendees should be as diverse as the patients that Valleywise serves. And so we do have community partners, including my agency and Valleywise as well too, that have databases and email databases that we can utilize so that we can target different diverse populations when we are doing our outreach efforts. So just a little bit more data around millennials. So millennials are the largest generation in the workforce, making up more than 1/3 of those employed today. And so some of the defining traits for millennials are that they're purpose-driven, they're socially conscious, they're digitally savvy, they're ethnically diverse, and they value networking. So one of the interesting pieces of research that we found was that millennials are the most ethnically diverse generation yet. And so we definitely want to make that a target as well too when we are reaching out. So as far as our marketing plan goes, we want to reach out to potential emerging leaders and invite them to network with some of the Valley's, again, most influential leaders, both mentor and mentees, and learn how they can contribute to the largest nationally verified burn center in the Southwest, both financially and with their time as well too. We obviously want to fundraise money, but we also want to stress the value of donating their time as well too to this mission. So we want to highlight the services of the Arizona Burn Center through storytelling at the event as well. And we also want to create a sponsorship packet that includes benefits for potential partner organizations and how their support will help to further the mission of the Arizona Burn Center. So as far as our promotional plan goes, we obviously want the focus to be on the mission of the Arizona Burn Center. However, we also want to focus on what the added value is for the participants that are in attendance. So we are going to push a promotional plan through the Valleywise digital platforms. We're going to utilize our fellow emerging leaders and our mentors as well too, and partner with their networks to promote via social media, email, text, and we'll work with the Valleywise marketing team to create the copy for that as well. We're going to leverage emerging leader partner organizations, logos, for example, to include on the invitation. Again, really adding value to the event by highlighting some of the prominent organizations that are partnered with this program in all of our marketing materials. And we also want to encourage leaders to use this opportunity as a team building and potential give back outing. We know a lot of organizations do have some of these team building opportunities, and we want this to be one of them. So as far as our timeline for our graphics and promotion plan, so we do have a save the date that we want to push out 4 weeks from the event date. We also have an official invitation 2 weeks from the event date. And we're also going to have a QR code graphics that are going to link to a fundraising site. And we're also going to create, once again, a sponsorship packet that includes all of the benefits and different levels and opportunities for this event. So we do have several fundraising tactics. We want to take advantage of year-end giving. So I'll share a little bit later what our projected date is for this event. We also want to promote the Arizona Charitable tax credit. So this allows an individual to donate up to $400 and a couple to donate up to $800 and receive the full amount back when you file your Arizona state taxes. And then we're going to make a direct ask at the event as well too. and we'll have display branded QR codes throughout the venue. And then Tim, I'll pass it over to you to talk a little bit about our community partners.
Yeah, I know we're running a little bit short on time, so to expedite, as far as community partners, burn survivors, actually having some people in the venue be able to walk and talk to some of these millennials and tell some of their stories. Some of the people that volunteer at the burn camp to come out and talk with a little bit about that and let people engage. Obviously, we have an enormous resource of volunteers that could actually come in and help with the event that we can each ask at our own companies. I've already kind of touched on the firefighters, first responders. That's the kind of, it's the place where I come from. And then, of course, we also have to rely a little bit on the Valleywise Health Foundation team.
Yeah. Right, and so one of the aspects of this event is to also incorporate cultural performers. We do want to either hire a mariachi or tribal dancers to really kind of hone into the culture here in the Valley and integrate that into this event. So budgeting and goals, we do have a target date of Thursday, December 2nd from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Number of attendees, we're looking at between 50 to 75. So allocated budget, we have $10,000. However, the expected cost of the event is going to be between $3,300 to $3,800, depending on the attendance of the event. And so as far as the cost breakdown goes, if we are going to contract out a marketing agency, for example, for the graphics, the posts, and the sponsorship packet, we're allocating about $500 for that. We also want to incorporate branded bracelets to sell at the event. We're not going to put a dollar amount on these bracelets. We want to give the participants an opportunity to give whatever amount that they feel comfortable with for the bracelets, and so those are going to cost around $300. And the printed displays are going to run us around $500 to place throughout the venue. And we are wanting to have this at the yard. It is a fun and open space. There's games. And so that's going to run us about $1,500 to $2,000. It's about $23 per person, and drinks are not included. And typically we find that individuals that attend these types of events like mixers don't mind paying for their drinks when they're there. Especially for a charity event. And then entertainment, we are allocating $500. We do have a total fundraising goal of $15,000. We're looking to get about $10,000 in sponsorships. And then online donations and day of fundraising, $5,000. And that's the end of our presentation. Thank you again so much for your time, and I'd love to open it up to any questions that you guys might have.
Sharks, if you guys don't mind, can we limit it to 2 questions, just for time's sake?
That was great. It's an event that I would want to attend if I was in that demographic, which I'm not, but.
Me either.
Say a little bit more how you would stay connected to folks after the event.
Tim, I can answer that, or if you're wanting to.
Yeah, no, go ahead, and I can add.
Okay. I'm sorry, you said you couldn't.
I said go ahead, you can go ahead and I can add.
Okay, awesome. So yes, we do want to utilize, once again, our email databases. So there's going to be a check-in table where individuals can leave their business card or even register for the event. So we want to make sure that we capture all of their information when they arrive, and then post-event we can follow up with them through an email.
And my approach is a little more grassroots with outreach and education. Getting out to the different areas and teaching. PHI does a lot of reach out and education along those lines, especially with a lot of the fire agencies and the rural communities that utilize us. And PHI is actually going to be partnering up a little bit with Valleywise as far as our medical direction and things like that are happening. So we have those resources to be able to continue to do that. All right, thanks.
That was awesome. Hello, hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? No? I can talk louder. Okay, that's fine. All right, perfect. So our next group, Healthcare Champions, with Al and Maria. They're two mentors, David Adami and Maria Spirelli. I'm not sure if they're here, but come right on up. And you guys just be mindful of our, there you go. All righty, perfect. Come on.
All right, can everyone hear me? All right, so I'm Albert Rowe. I'm a radiologist at Valleywise, and this is Maria Valdez, and she'll take the second half of the presentation. So we are the healthcare champions, and our event is 2K for Equity. So to start off, what is 2K for Equity? It's going to be a 2K walk around the campus of Valleywise. So I've walked this personally, and you can see here on the Google map that the blue is going to be the outline of the walk. It's exactly 1 mile or 1.6, which we rounded up to 2. Okay. So how it's going to start is that we're going to have the start at the back parking lot, as you can see at the start, and then we will be working our way around the campus, and I'll kind of do a virtual walk with you guys. So the first milestone, or what will be the first station, is going to be the front of the current hospital, and we'll kind of go through that in a second. Afterwards, the second station will now be after we've passed through the new construction of the new hospital towards the outpatient center. And just to kind of give you guys a mock-up of what this new hospital will look like, it's going to be looking really nice in about 2 years. As we continue towards the back of the new hospital will be where the new burn center will be. And right now it's still very much under construction. This picture is from last week. And this is what the burn center will eventually look like in 2 years. As we kind of finish our way towards the back, currently it's a hole in the ground. This is from last week, but this will also become the new medical education building, which will also look really nice in about a few years. And then our last station, right before we kind of finish up our loop, is going to be our behavioral health annex. So it's going to be more than just a 2K walk. We're hoping to educate people along the way, and then each station is going to be one of those stations which will be part of our pillars and themes for our causes. So we wanted to take each opportunity at each of the 5 stations to kind of educate on each of the causes. Similar to the first group, we wanted to really represent all 3 of the pillars that we were asked to contribute to. We broke down caring for the community to 3 sessions. At the front of the hospital, and station 1 will be how we dealt with the pandemic equitably. 2, which will be the breast center, which is in the outpatient center, and next month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. 3 will be where the new burn center is, and that will be where we educate on burn survivorship care. The new education building construction site will be where we talk about medical education, and then the behavioral health annex will be where we talk about mental health. Why did we pick healthcare equity? Part of the reason, and most of the reason, is because millennials are very much motivated by the mission. So we really wanted to emphasize the important things. And what we found out is that millennials really care about civil rights and racial discrimination, as well as healthcare. And the thing that we at Valleywise really pride ourselves on is that we truly do live and breathe healthcare equality. In this recent post, we got a perfect score of 100 2 years in a row now, and we really wanted to showcase that. So now going into why are we doing a walk, when we first came up with this idea, Maria and I kind of joked to ourselves that a walk, the closest thing we've done to a marathon is probably a Netflix binge. However, we wanted to kind of follow up with the data. So we end up being the weird ones. So when we looked at the data, it shows that millennials actually do really want to participate in a fun run or race. So instead of our personal preferences, we follow the data. But we didn't want to just have just any walk. We wanted to make this our walk. So we wanted to make this something that we would enjoy ourselves despite not being walkers or runners ourselves. And again, kind of going towards the data, we wanted to make sure that our event hits on the big things that millennials really enjoy. So I'm not sure if it projects really well up on the screen, but the things that millennials want to see in an event is that the results of the organization are achieved, are shown, that it is fun and celebratory, that it's interesting and it teaches them something, and then it gives them the opportunity to socialize with other volunteers and donors. So what are our goals with this event with 2K for equity? We want to make sure that we have almost 500 participants at the event itself, and we want to fundraise about 53K. So where are these participants coming from? We're hoping to get about 430 walkers. So in the pandemic, we wanted to split this up so that it's not just one big rush. We're hoping to do 43 heats, 10 minutes apart of 10 minutes each. And in addition to that, we wanted to make sure that there was an opportunity for there to be volunteers. And we wanted that opportunity there because millennials also like to volunteer beyond just giving money. So we wanted there to be an opportunity for millennials who want to volunteer and not just give money. Where does the 53K come from? So I'll go through this in a little bit more detail in a second, but of the 43 people who are going to be walking, we're hoping for about $100 each. And how we're going to do that is we're going to be selling pins to each of these walkers. There's going to be a choice of 5 pins, and they can get more than just one, and it'll be up to $200. So more about these pins. So where are these 5 pins coming from? Well, each pin is going to represent each of our causes in each of our stations. So for each station, there's going to be a pin that's going to represent the cause, and it gives the donor the opportunity to pick the one that they want to visually represent. And the pricing model here is that for the first pin, it'll be $80. And as you can see, you can get up to all 5 of them for $200. And the $100 average is that we're anticipating that most people will get 1 pin, but we'll have enough people that will get multiple pins to drive that average up to $100. In addition to the individual donors, we also wanted to reach out to corporate sponsors. So again, we're seeking 5 corporate sponsors, 1 for each station, and we're hoping that each corporate sponsor will give $2K, and that will cover all of our costs. So how much will all of this cost? Well, the stations, we'll have 6 stations, including the start. That'll be about $800. We want each participant to get a shirt coming out of this, and that'll be the biggest cost of $4,800. And then the pins themselves will be about $600. So our total cost will be about $6,200. And to kind of put that into context, our fundraising goal is 53K, which is an ROI of 8.6. And the thing that I really want to highlight here is that because the corporate sponsors will be covering all our costs, 100% of the individual donors will be going to the causes. All right, I'm going to now pass it over to Maria, who will talk about how we're going to get this all done.
This one? The middle one? This one. Oh, there. I skipped ahead. So I'm Maria Valdez. I'm from Equality Health. I'm a community health worker there. And so one of the things that we'd like to add as well is if we go look a little bit back in the data is focusing a little bit on the social media piece. Having the walk is good, but when you really look at the data on what millennials like to do and things, social media is a really big one. And I'd go back, but then I'd have to go through all these animations. So imagine the data is there. So that's one of the things that we really want to flex is definitely social media. And so we're going to be doing a few things. So I'm going to go over the timeline in a few because I saw a green square and I need to get this done. But so we're going to be doing several social media campaigns that I'll go over with right now. But one thing we'll also be doing is, I don't know if you guys have noticed, Instagram, Facebook, that's been really hot lately is the little frame. So we'd be doing a frame that would say Valleywise 2K for equity. And we would be doing an actual program. So 1 week we would focus on one of our stations. We would be putting things from stories, patients, like what we're seeing right now of Isabella, the patient in the burn unit. We'd be doing that every week for every station that we have. And this timeline took us a bit to really fall, but it felt pretty well, actually. So October 16th is when we would start. And every week we would start a new thing all the way to Giving Tuesday. So if you look back at the data, and really the data comes from the impact report. There's a very, very big report that's done every so many years on specifically millennials, and it gives you on how impactful millennials can be and what drives them to be impactful, because that is one of the characteristics of millennials is impact, causes, and all of that. So that's really where we got all our data from. But then after that, we'd go to Giving Tuesday. So Giving Tuesday was seen that Tuesday is the day that millennials like to donate more. So Giving Tuesday is a really big day. So then we'd have that last push, and then we'd have the actual event. Now in the event, in the actual stations, we would have, again, speakers, patients that would like to present. We'd spice it up with a lot of things to really not only give the education, but also the stories of how Valleywise has really impacted, so we can build those lifelong relationships, like mentioned earlier. Like I said, why social media? Because that's where a lot of the social interest actually sparks in the beginning with millennials, is actually social media. So we tried to combine it a bit, as you see there. The other thing is that we want to use social media as a leverage for peer influence. I know that sounds really negative, but if millennials actually follow more their peers and their supervisors, or who they like to see and do what other people of their kind do. So we really want to use social media to focus on pushing those millennials all together for a great cause. And in the bottom, you see that they also like to volunteer, and that's one of the reasons we included volunteers at the stations, is because volunteering is a really big thing for millennials. Who are we doing? We have the committees that were actually set out in the rubric that you all have. We have the 3 committees: logistics, marketing, engagement. I'd lead 2, and then Albert would lead 1, and that's where we really would iron out a lot of the little details of who's going to speak, what patients should we use, all that good stuff. So there it is once again with our fancy clip art pins. And I'd say vote for us. And there you go.
All right, fabulous. So maybe we'll do 2 questions again with this group.
Great job, you guys. Wanted to see, especially since you guys aren't active marathoners like myself, have you done any research on how many people typically attend inaugural walks? Just because in Arizona we do have so many, just to give a good idea of how many people could actually participate.
We did not, I'll be honest, we did not look much at the data of how many. Our goal was more towards the financial aspect and seeing budget-wise how it would all work out versus how many. We really guided ourselves on the data that said that this is the event they most like. If this is the event they're most like, then we're hoping to get the big crowd there. They did. If you notice, there was also a gala or concert that was actually number 1. It was 2% higher, but the reason we didn't choose that is because of the timeline. A gala costs more money. It's COVID-wise as well. You're usually more packed in, and we felt that using Valleywise, the hospital, as a marketing tool to them really see everything was going to be a home run hit.
Well, thanks for not doing another gala. I appreciate that. Sell me on these pins. I don't need a pin in my life, do I? Why would I want to pay $100 or up to $200?
So that's actually a really good point. But one of the reasons why we picked pins is actually recently what kind of inspired us was that during the Olympics, we actually saw a lot of the Olympians trading pins and stuff and having them on their lanyards. So we kind of wanted to mimic that a little bit for the millennial crowd.
Yeah, and if you also notice, actually, myself being a millennial, and I say this as a personal experience, is many of the times when you go to events, when you go to conferences, when you go to all of these places, you like grabbing those little knickknacks, right, to sort of keep. Now, granted, it is $80, so that is not just a knickknack, but but that's why we'll also be having those do you want to do a one-time donation? We'll have those options as well. The one-time donation, the $10 a month donation, but we really want to market those pins. They will have the Valleywise logo. Marketing team will be amazing. Our clip art is not the most amazing one, but we'll have the other options too, because we want to be inclusive financially, socioeconomically. So we'll have all the other options in case $80 a pin. Maybe they don't want that, but they want to donate $10. So.
All right, fabulous. Thank you, guys. So I don't know if there's like an extra 5 points for fabulous shoes, but Maria's got it. That was my first comment. Look at her shoes. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. It's really some good ideas so far, so thank you to the groups. Our next group is the starting lineup, which I love that name. So it's Danny Zimmerman, Eddie Espinoza, and Elon Graves.
Well, hello, and thank you all for coming here this morning. My name is Elon Graves, and I'm actually the Marketing and Communication Specialist for Valleywise Health Foundation.
Hi, everybody. My name is Eddie Espinoza. I work in Enterprise Production Support, IT at Blue Cross Blue Shield, Arizona, and I'm a seasonal tax pro, so you can call me, ask me questions later.
And we are the starting lineup. Our cohort also consists of Danny Zimmerman, and our two mentors are Brittany Willett and Marina Carpenter of the Arizona Coyotes. So today we're going to present to you our community engagement project, a Valleywise Health Foundation Fire and Ice Hike. So when we were discussing our project over these past couple of months, we decided that we were most compelled to focus on burn survivorship care at Valleywise Health Foundation. The vision for burn at Valleywise Health Foundation is to change the lives of future burn survivors throughout the region. And so what's really unique and cool about the Valleywise Health Arizona Burn Center is that we are among one of the largest academic burn centers in the nation. And then we are also nationally verified for adult and pediatric care throughout the entire Southwest region. So what we focus on at Valleywise Health is emergency care, like you heard in other presentations, also the psychosocial, the mental health, the wellness and nutrition support as well. And so through innovative programs, equipment, and technology, we helped us get our burn survivors to get back into their everyday lives. So here's a video that we hope we can play, focused on the inspiration and solidarity of burn survivorship care. One of the things we wanted to focus on that we already do at Valleywise Health Foundation is support burn survivors through Team Courage Rising. Team Courage Rising is a group comprised of burn survivors, donors, and Valleywise Health Foundation supporters who are all raising awareness in support of burn survivorship care at Valleywise Health. So we'll see if we can play our video. Okay, no worries.
Interpretive dance.
Yes, right. Oh yeah, taxes. Very entertaining.
Pay them sometimes.
If we can't get the video up, no worries. I can briefly explain. Okay, no worries. In the video, we have K2 Adventure Travel's Kevin Sharilla. He helps to lead these monthly hikes that we're doing to engage burn survivors and building community and solidarity, as you see. Inspiration and solidarity within our Arizona Burn Center and within the community for burn survivors is extremely important. Knowing that you have a community outside of the burn center is really great and awesome. And so we have these monthly hikes to engage them, as well as big hikes like Grand Canyon and Kilimanjaro, where they get to engage with our Team Courage Rising. Oh, is it on the last slide? I don't know how I go back. It's all good. No worries. So, after discussing our passion for burn and what Valleywise Health does to serve our burn survivors, we came up with an event called the Valleywise Health Foundation's Fire and Ice Hike. So what is this? In 2022, we will hike to the top of Two Big Peak and take it to the ice at the Arizona Coyotes with burn survivors from the Arizona Burn Center. So what this looks like is a minimum donation of $5, and participants will be able to go on the hike and then enjoy the game. So during the hike, we expect that participants and burn survivors will hear stories at each peak of the hike. So you'll get to see face-to-face burn survivors from the Arizona Burn Center, and they'll get to tell their personal stories. Then after the hike, participants will be able to engage in a Coyotes game, followed by a special engagement of some sort with the Arizona Coyotes. So the goal of our project. With burn survivorship care, we wanted to take this to the top level as we could and really try to engage new millennial donors in a special, unique way. So one of our goals is to attract 100 new millennial donors. Our second goal is to raise $45,000 for the new Valleywise Health Arizona Burn Center, raise awareness for burn survivorship care by telling 2 new stories. We know at the foundation that telling compelling stories is really how you reach people, and we want to be able to take the opportunity for burn survivors to share their stories along these hikes. Our fourth goal is to increase digital engagement at the foundation, and we do this through avenues of social media, Google Grants, and mobile giving options. So the scope in terms of our project and audience and appeal, we know that young millennial donors, as mentioned before, don't always like to go outside and maybe go on a hike. But the great opportunity that we have with this project is that if they don't want to go on the hike, that's okay. They could go outside and they can engage in the Arizona Coyotes game and just pay that $5 minimum. And say you don't like going hiking, so you don't actually, hockey isn't your thing. No worries. You can still engage in participating in burn survivorship care and support by engaging in mobile giving options. So another reason that we think testimonies is really important is because burn survivors get the opportunity to share their story, and young millennial donors are typically most engaged by testimonies. They want to hear the personal story. They don't want to see you always in the production or your fancy TikTok. They want to see you face to face and hear your story. So we think that taking the opportunity to see the burn survivors, see them actually rising together in Arizona together, gives them the opportunity to see the impact, to see the impact of Valleywise Health Foundation and Valleywise Health. We expect to do this through engagement and networking. So this is also an opportunity for young millennials to network. It's not just the opportunity to learn about Valleywise Health Foundation, but it's also an opportunity to network with other millennial donors to learn about what they're doing outside in the community as well. And we're hoping that by engaging people who are interested in hiking and burn survivorship care and the Arizona Coyotes, we're bringing those people together. So bringing different interests and bringing different cultures to one impact. Logistics. So of course, with our big 4 goals, we need to have some logistics put in place with our $45,000 goal and our goal to attract 100 new millennial donors. So first, we would secure a date with the Coyotes that would be most fit for them. And within our 3rd week, we'd start scheduling burn survivors to participate in the hike. So making sure we have burn survivors who are active and willing to participate. By the 4th week, we'd want to feature this event on our landing page and start putting together social media content. So this includes setting up Google Ads, Google Grants, and other social media ads to engage people who are not only in the Arizona community, but people who could recognize the Arizona Burn Center on a national level. And within our 6th week, we would want to prepare and execute for the event. So this includes engaging with our community sponsors and corporate sponsors to help us in engaging these young millennials. Our committee roles would look like marketing being Danny's responsibility, me operations, and Eddie with community relations. And obviously we'd have technology in there as well, and that includes our mobile giving options and some opportunities to record these millennials coming together. I think a huge part of the next steps after the event is to show the impact. So you'll be able to see just how millennial donors were engaging in the project, and then hopefully that will inspire you to maybe attend the next one or just to give. And I'll now turn it over to Eddie to do the budget breakdown.
Thank you very much. All right. Buttons. I love buttons. So what we're looking at here with the budget breakdown is that we are taking advantage of the community partners that we have available to us to put this hike together, to reach out to millennial donors, which allows us to use our budget mostly for advertising. We need to be able to get in touch with our millennial donors, potential millennial donors, through various social media, and just about every platform has a different way to help charitable organizations or charitable causes interact with their communities. So by allocating most of that budget to that, we can scale depending on our progress throughout our campaign to connect with as many people as possible. And we'll go more into how exactly we're connecting with them a little later. Ultimately, that will be the majority of our budget, but then we'll also have room to possibly provide transportation to our various events if need be. And of course, we'll probably put together some swag, some memorabilia, so again, it helps people bring people together as part of this event that we're putting together here. As far as the marketing goes, again, we'll discuss social media in a little bit, but we want to make sure that we are making giving as easy as possible. Text options, quick links that we can get on social media. We don't want to create difficulty to donate to this cause, because a lot of this stuff tends to be a little reactionary, especially on social media. So we need to make that as easy as possible for everybody involved. As we mentioned before, we'll take advantage of grants, charitable programs through various media platforms, and again, swag to help get people once they're involved in the actual activity. And that brings us to kind of how we're going to interact with the communities. Again, we're going to be working with the Arizona Coyotes. They're going to be helping us out to put on a program that, again, we're going to bring our participants together, create a networking opportunity, a kind of a social event, so that not only are they able to connect with burn survivors, but they're able to connect with each other, something we're going to be mentioning a lot. Because that creation of a coalition is going to be what we can use to create activism moving forward after this event. So we need to be able to start that as soon as possible once we get people together in a room. In addition, we want to try to get vendors and sponsors and community involved. Get them involved, have the option to grow this as much as possible, but we're going to need help to do that. So we need to start here, whether that's creating shirts or getting equipment for the hike itself. There's sponsors out there that can possibly help us, and we need to connect with them and get them involved at this stage. And then, again, we'll talk more about social media, but influencers, another group of folks that we need to get in touch with. There's plenty of people active in Arizona community on social media that would love to be able to help out with this, that already have followings, that already have goals to help the community that they work within. So that's our chance to take advantage of that. So we'll quickly go through social media, because this is going to be an important aspect. Almost as much as we're doing with the event itself is the social media campaign. We need to create the ability, testimonies to share with the Arizona community, sharing the stories not only of the burn survivors, but of other influencers who have donated. Share the stories of other millennial donors, and why donating is important to them, and connect with other potential donors. Ideally, we might even be able to get some of the Coyotes to share their own giving experiences and connect with potential donors that way. The idea is that we need to show other potential donors who may not have donated yet, maybe because they just came into a situation where that's now a possibility, why it's important and why there's opportunity in burn care. In summary, do you want to go ahead and close this out?
So in summary, we have a hike and we have a game in which the Arizona community and Arizona Millennials will get to participate in, all in support of the Arizona Burn Center and burn survivorship care. And one of our main components driving this, even if you don't attend the event, if you don't attend the hike or you don't attend the game, social media engagement campaigns and raising awareness will help bring the funds and reach our goal of $45,000 for the Arizona Burn Center. So thank you so much. We're now open for questions.
Good job. I love the idea of the hike. I think it ties really well into just why I think some of us choose to live here outside of the summers, is just some of the cool stuff you can experience, mountains nearby, all that good stuff. You mentioned something about creating engagement opportunities like during the hike. Can you elaborate on it? Maybe I misunderstood that, but how do you do that exactly in a kind of a safe and kind of pragmatic way?
Absolutely. So we go on monthly hikes throughout Arizona through Valleywise Health Foundation. And so a lot of the time, camaraderie is built around sharing stories. Burn survivors will come on the hike and share their personal story. And so that's what we would like to do, just in a different fashion with more participants, essentially. So throughout the hike, we could have Jason Nelson share his story at one peak, and then Isabella share her story at another peak, and then maybe Jason Schechterly share his story at a different peak. That way, each burn survivor gets a chance to share their story and participants can engage and learn. And then we were also hoping that through the Arizona Coyotes, we could have a celebration or a special engagement of some kind, celebrating the burn survivors at the game.
Really great. Can you share a little bit more about the $45K that you're hoping to raise? Is there an average gift that you're thinking, or a number? Just give me a little bit more framework for that, if you would.
Yeah, absolutely. So we came up with a $5 minimum donation because we thought we could compare it to millennial donating habits of a $5 cup of coffee. So millennials are more willing to donate at the smaller amount, but that's just the minimum that we're asking for. So they could choose to donate more if they have the means to do so, and if they want to. And then also, what's really driving us to get to that goal is through our efforts with our emerging leaders, but also social media campaigns. Being able to really leverage and put our budget into social media is where we then expect the outcome in turn to come for the $45,000 goal.
All right, that was awesome. Thank you so much, you guys. Great presentation. All right, so our next team are the Rangers with Al, Rachel, and Jennifer. Come on up. So green.
Great, I'll let someone else handle that one. All right, so we're going to actually jump right into it, and you'll actually get to know us as we're jumping into our presentation. So, all righty. Are you a millennial yearning to want to get involved with your community but don't know where to start?
Do you find yourself not having enough time to get engaged because there isn't enough hours in a day?
Well, look no further, Sharks, and come join the Valleywise Health Foundation's movement, Let's Move Phoenix. Together we can fundraise to make a difference in our healthcare community and provide exceptional care without exception, every patient, every time.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jennifer Villalobos, and I'm Vice President of Business Development and Marketing at Sharp Construction.
I'm Ahmed Al-Maridi, flight paramedic with PHI Air Medical. I'm also an air medical base supervisor there.
And my name's Rachel Owen. I'm a learning director at JP Morgan Private Bank.
And together we are the Rangers presenting to you today, Let's Move Phoenix, an event unlike no other, so come join the movement.
So the objective we wanted to do was create a meaningful engagement and relationship with millennials and donors.
So laying down the facts.
So let's lay down the facts. Millennials are changing philanthropy. We're the generation that gives back. So according to Forbes, we are actually the largest demographic in the workplace as of 2020. And despite us having less disposable income, more student loan debt, and years away from owning a house, this social media world that we are so lucky to live in and have been raised in has influenced us to be known actually as the most generous generation in history.
We're just really excited about the millennials. So, millennials and charitable giving. So, with the millennial generation, as many of our emerging leaders have said, they're the generation that wants giving to be easy and at their fingertips. And then they also want bragging rights. Millennials want it to be peer-to-peer. They want to get to know others in their community, and they want to be part of something bigger. And lastly, they want to build relationships. So networking and just learn more about other millennials that they're working with.
Okay, so how do we connect with millennials? We're going to have to ask for more than just money. We want to develop those relationships. We want to be able to tell stories and keep it simple. All millennials, we have a short attention span. Whatever fits in a tweet is what we grasp. Everything else is just in and one out, here or the other. And then it developed that urgency. What is this money going for? It's not just, they want to know what the money is going for and what they're doing for the community.
So mental health and millennials. So let's talk about this. During COVID, obviously, mental health created a lot of awareness. So with that, there was actually a study that showed that millennials are one of the generations that are the most stressed and have anxiety levels amongst any other generation. So due to this, we really wanted to focus our event and our community engagement, which is obviously one of the pillars within Valleywise, to really focus on mental health and our millennials. And as we see some of these statistics right here, We are very hesitant about vocalizing the increased stress and anxiety to our employers because we've been in a workforce environment that has really, before COVID, has really shunned, taking time off and sick time, et cetera. So 49% of millennials who have taken time off of work for mental health have given their employers a different reason for their absence, and 45% of women, 39% of males within the millennial generation feel stressed all or most all of the time. So those are pretty, intense statistics there.
So what is our marketing plan with Let's Move Phoenix? We want to create a movement that capitalizes on local influencers in the community and their followers. So we'll utilize their social media platforms and broaden the scope of Valleywise Health Foundation. And then we will bring them all together, the influencers, to a big Let's Move Phoenix movement day. As we said before, millennials want to get out there. They want to be with their peers. And so we'll bring together the community of influencers along with the community of millennials to a big exercise and fun movement day.
Okay, so we realized that we didn't only have to pitch to you guys, but we were also going to have to go out of our way to pitch to these influencers. What's going to be worth their while? Why are they wanting to get engaged and get involved with Valleywise? So we actually put together this amazing email that we were going to be our target to kind of first engage with these influencers in our valley. That kind of summarizes who we are as an organization, what we stand for, and what are the benefits of them getting involved with an organization such as Valleywise, Let's Move Phoenix. So this is our pitch.
This is a list of the people that we have. Some local influencers that are big on fitness. The ones you see with the check marks, they love the idea and they've already committed to this if our group is chosen.
So we actually already reached out.
We were
one step ahead of the game.
Yes, we were one step ahead. We've already reached out. We've got 3 who are on board, ready to do this if our group is chosen. Others have expressed interest and want to know more, so we'll reach out to them some more and get them going. But as you can see, we've already done our homework. We've already reached out. We've got 3 commitments and a potential few others that are committed to joining our group if we get selected.
So why would these influencers want to work with us on our Let's Move Phoenix Day? We have compiled some prizes, a grand prize winner for the influencer that raises the most money. And so with that, we've already reached out to all these companies in order to have them donate these prizes. So a feature in A Healthier Arizona, the Phoenix Business Journal, Valleywise Health Foundation website and blog, including LinkedIn and Instagram, tickets to Night in the Valley in 2022, and then as well as a feature in Front Doors Media.
So once again, we really had to hone in on why would they want to get involved. Aside from the prizes, they would be a part of a movement that's bigger, A Healthier Arizona. Recognition on our social media pages, recognition, as she mentioned, in Front Doors. And we would invite them to Let's Move Phoenix with shout out, and we would get Channel 3 involved, so they're also getting their presence and they're growing their network to the network that we have on a professional level, and then to the network that they have on a social media presence level. So, and this would be our goal. A fundraising goal of $20,000 is where we would like to start at. We actually believe that we can totally exceed this goal because if you were to go back a couple of slides where we're showcasing the influencers and the followers that they have, one of our parts of our marketing plan is to promote fundraising through each one of these influencers. So if we have someone like the foodie gal, she has 157,000 influencers, and we're asking her to push, hey, try to get your followers to donate $1, like something so easy that it just makes sense. They love her. She's done great things during COVID that we can easily make this goal, but this would just be our goal from the actual event of Let's Move Phoenix.
Sorry. So here is the rollout schedule. So we would have each influencer fundraise for 1 week. As Jennifer said, we'd like each of them to raise $2,000 individually, which we think is an achievable feat given how many followers they have in total between the 3 that we've already curated. It's about 300,000 followers that they already reach. We would also go out to event sponsors, a few of which we have in place already, but for shirts, water bottles, we anticipate for 10,000 with that. And then attendees. This will be a donation-based movement fitness class, which we'll detail it later. And then we will also sell raffle tickets. We will determine the cost of the raffle ticket as we get closer to the event, depending on how many individuals we have sign up.
So our timeline, our timeline will start in January, getting all these influencers set in place. Our awareness event will start in February, and then our drive is the 7th through 11th of March, and our Let's Move Phoenix will be on March 12th is when we'll have our actual event. So we'll start, we've already started reaching out to our influencers now, but by January we'll have that initiative completely set and ready to go, start the awareness in February, the drive in March, and our event in March as well.
So this is our budget of what we thought would be the total cost to put together this event. We have about $4,000, what we estimated. A lot of this, we really want to get involved with some different corporations to also create more awareness between those corporations and Valleywise. I'm in the construction field, so construction, architecture, we know a lot of partners that would want to get involved in that already have relationships and want to get into healthcare. So to me, I thought this was such an easy event to be able to sell to my peers and want to be a part of and come out and get involved. So we have Gooder Eats that would be donating some food, some water sponsorships, some of the prizes that we would be donating or we would be raffling off as prizes, and then some minimal costs that we see here for tables and office supplies, etc.
And we are almost out of time. So the big event, Let's Move Phoenix. This will be a 3-hour fitness movement event at Scottsdale Quarter. If you haven't been there before, they have a massive center in the area that would allow for us to teach a fitness class. We are looking at different vendors such as Bar 3, cycle studios, and yoga studios as well to come teach various movements. We will have an 8 a.m. register and check-in. We will have a thank you speech to all of our influencers who will be invited to the event, recognition and a speech from Valleywise Health Foundation. We will then host a fitness class and then have our food and raffle afterwards. With the influencers, as we said before, we will be having them there in order to have all of our attendees take pictures with them, socialize with them, and even capitalize on their own marketing that they have on their own social media platforms.
And really through this is where we plan to engage with these millennials aside of all the marketing that has already been happening with the influencers. We plan to have out booths to showcase Valleywise, have people like Nate and ourselves kind of touch on who we are as Valleywise, have shirts, water bottles, etc. And obviously market to go follow Valleywise Health Foundation. So that's our presentation. Questions? Oh, go ahead. Okay, that's it.
Okay, so I think we'll open it up to a couple of questions.
Despite being a millennial, I couldn't see the budget. I don't really understand. Are you saying it's $4,000 are the expenses?
Yes.
Total expenses?
Yes, which we foresee being to have media, tables, water, etc., that we can go out and pass out to them.
And what about the payoff to the influencers?
So when we wrote out our email, it actually said for them to come and get engaged for free. So this is something that they're doing out of the kindness of their heart that want to get involved. And out of that list of influencers, we actually did research of the most influential influencers in the Valley. Those were some of them. And out of those lists, we already have 3 that have agreed and said that they want to get involved, and they're not expecting cost or anything like that from this event.
I thought there's a contest for them who could raise the most.
Who could raise the most money for them, like bragging rights, and they would be the winner of the tickets to the big event, to the gala or the night that we offer, and then a couple other prizes, which would be the feature on a magazine, Phoenix Business Journal, etc.
I worked out with Kate Fassett for many years. She's quite a fitness influencer, I can tell you. Recommend her.
We'll take it.
Good job. I love the creativity. I suppose this is a question for any of the groups, but have you guys thought about these as annual events, quarterly events? And then what kind of metrics would you be looking at to see, like, is something like this sustainable? Obviously, attendance is part of it, but.
Yeah, certainly an annual event. Part of the reason why we want to do this at the beginning of the year is capitalize on everyone's get fit in the new year type mentality. So we anticipate running this every single year, also capitalizing on Arizona's great weather during that time. And again, we would track with our marketing plan, we will also be running Google ads as well as Facebook ads, so seeing the engagement posts on that, which you can easily pull that data from, as well as how many attendees do we have to this first one, registration, and then see if we need to upscale our advertising or add more influencers in the following year. Hope that helps.
All right, great job, guys. Clearly you have a fan club in the back. Our last group to go is the Mighty Titans. This is Lupe Valenzuela, Juan Alberto Palomino, and their mentors are Gretchen Bulig and Clarence McAllister.
How's everybody feeling? Okay for two. Last presentation, right? Thank you so much for being here.
That helps.
I don't know about y'all, but let's shake it out. We did it, y'all. We crossed the finish line, all of us.
And the Mighty Titans will finish off the pitch. Hi, Sharks. I'm Lupe Valenzuela with CPOC. I am the Strategic Planning Analyst.
And I'm Juan Palomino, and Software Engineering Consultant.
And together, we are
the Mighty Titans.
Today, we are here to share the next fundraising idea for Valleywise. Viva Muertos!
Viva!
Híjole. We're going to increase millennial giving through innovation, community building, and the arts through an alternative platform.
So we'll quickly recap the challenge and breeze through some of the research that we've done. I'm sure by this point in the day, you all are experts on millennial giving. So the challenge as we understood it when aligning with the Valleywise mission is we needed to remember that the health of a city isn't just the individual body. It's an expression of the environments we're in. A healthy, vibrant cultural community is so important. This is a quote from one of our mentors. So, go ahead, next slide. We want to go ahead and share some fundraising goals with you all.
Yes. Woo! Yeah, I know you guys see that big figure. So our fundraising goal is $100,000. However, there's a total possible revenue of $1 million. Yes, you heard it right. $1 million with a possible reach of 500 donors. And we will get to these details soon.
All right, real quick. Millennials, 25 to 40 years old, 84% of them give. Small gifts, up to about $100. On average, $481. That gets us to our price point of $100. So each time a millennial gives, they give about $100 to a nonprofit. Some of the blockers to donating, we talked earlier about removing some blockers, right? Some of those blockers are non-responsive websites and out-of-date websites themselves. So to describe alternative giving is something that millennials are willing to explore because it's easier. In December 2017, the term alternative giving was coined when a philanthropist, anonymous, by the name of Pine, donated $55 million in cryptocurrency to 60 different charitable organizations. Since then, organizations like Coinbase, BitPay, and the Giving Block have continued this tradition with giving to the University of Alabama, the American Cancer Society, organizations like the Salvation Army, hundreds and hundreds of other nonprofits who are benefiting from alternative giving.
So how does this tie to millennials and cryptocurrency? 2 out of 3 millennials see crypto as an attractive asset. They also see it as a long-term investment that they could use to retire very early. And 43% of those millennials are more confident in cryptocurrency than the stock market. So drum roll. Today, we are here to talk about the next fundraising idea for Valleywise, Viva Muertos. It will be an NFT drop through Valleywise, and we're going to have 10,000 unique hand-drawn pieces of art. We will talk a little bit more right now, but yes.
My notes at this point say to pause for effect. So let's break this down really quick. What's an NFT? Just for a quick temperature check in the room, how many people are familiar with or have heard of NFTs before? Awesome. This is about the average. So an NFT is non-fungible tokens. They're tokens that you can't just replace with something else. My dollar bill is fungible. If I give you a dollar bill and you give me back 4 quarters, we're even. Next slide. Showing some examples of what it is to understand what an NFT is. The Mona Lisa is non-fungible. You can go to the Louvre, take a picture of the Mona Lisa, and have a picture that you print out and put up in your hallway at home, but that is not the Mona Lisa, and everybody knows. So some of the other examples of NFTs have been CryptoKitties and other sorts of characters. And the place that this comes from is the millennial habit of collectibles. I don't know if it was the Pokemon cards, the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, the Pogs, but we grew up collecting things. We love to associate our identity with the things that we can put up on a mantle. Next. These are examples of other successful NFT drops that you see in a secondary market called OpenSea. So if you can kind of zero in on some of these, this is an auction marketplace. It's a place where people can go to purchase these NFTs, these pieces of artwork from other owners. So some of the prices, they're listed in ETH. You see prices like 36 ETH, 1.5 ETH, 1.8 ETH, 40 ETH. And ETH is a cryptocurrency that you use to pay for these artworks. It's what allows the ledger that exists in public for everybody to see. So what does that mean? That just means that when you see the price in ETH, you multiply it by the current state, and that's what you get as your total price. So how are we going to make 10,000 pieces of unique, I'm about to, 10,000 pieces of unique artwork? Well, we got to break down the anatomy of what a muerto is. These are the characters that we're going to be making into tradable, collectible, unique pieces of art that resonate on a personal level with the millennials in Arizona and throughout the country. So if you break down a muerto, the sum of its parts are its hat, its eyes, its mouth, its chest, and any accessories that are in the scene. So we are going to commission 11 hats, 5 eyes, 5 mouths, 11 articles of clothing, and 5 accessories. When combined, they make a total possible combination of over 15,000 unique pieces of artwork. How we're going to get this is...
That's a great question, Juan. Thank you. That's a perfect segue. Thank you. So how are we going to get these 10,000 plus unique hand-drawn pieces of art? So we have actually met with the local artist, Lalo Cota, who has done murals across Arizona, but also nationwide. He has agreed to actually work with us already and paint these individual pieces that we shared for us. He was actually inspired back when he came from Mexico in the 80s, and his art, when you look at muertos, you're probably thinking, muertos, what is that? In the Hispanic culture, it really represents like the living. It's celebrating the living, not the dead. And for us, when you really think about it, when you take off all the skin, we're all the same. Underneath, we have the same skeleton body. And so that's why we wanted to talk about this and really pitch it as Viva los Muertos, especially with Hispanic Heritage Month right now, but also Dia de los Muertos. Yes, I saw that clap. And also Dia de los Muertos coming up starting at the midnight October 31st all the way to November 2nd.
So back to our fundraising. 10,000 digital pieces of art sold at $100 a piece would amount to $1 million. If we have a 10% success rate, we will raise $100,000. Go ahead. So we talked a little bit about cryptocurrency, how the adoption is going to move forward. For our purposes today, we're talking about ETH. ETH is a network that NFTs are going to be minted on. That's all you really need to know. Next slide. The flow of the funds. I know that there's some finance people in the room, so we want to explain this to let you know that we've thought it through, but not in so much detail that you will fall asleep during the presentation. Step one, whoever is purchasing the NFT either has cash or ETH already in their wallet. They will use that wallet and visit vivamuertos.com, which we already own, and they will exchange for their NFT. Then, through a vendor, which we agree with the Valleywise Health Foundation, we will convert that ETH into the local currency. So there will be no holding on to cryptocurrencies. There will be no investing. We're not playing a pump and dump scheme for Valleywise. This is simply opening up an avenue that over 220 million early adopters are using every single day. After that, it's converted into cash, and they're put in the coffers.
Perfect. So here we're just giving you a little slide. If we were to sell 10% of our NFTs, we would make $100,000. But if we were to sell all 100% with everybody here in the room, $1 million. What does that roadmap look like, Juan? Please explain.
Oh, it looks so good. So week one, we're going to go ahead and assign roles to other mentees. We're going to commission the art. We already have a commitment from Lalo Cota that if we're chosen today, he's expecting a call from us with a yay or nay, and if it's a yay, he's going to start on Monday. So on Monday, we will open up our Discord server. This is the one of the biggest parts of our presentation, is opening up a Discord server where we allow millennials to commune with each other and to be where they're at. Some of us like playing yard games. Some of us like going to bars. Some of us like hiking, but all of us love our cell phones. This is where Discord lives. So through weeks 2, 3, 4, and 5, we'll begin social posts and influencer marketing for Viva Los Muertos. We will begin raffles and social media contests, which feature Muertos as prizes, so the artwork becomes the prizes itself. And because he is hand-making these pieces of art, some of the NFTs, the rarer ones, will come with an actual physical piece of art that the donors will receive. So this is the Discord community, and the sizes of them, you can see, if we can go back. So we're talking about 42,000 members, 18,000 members, 133,000 members, 9,000 members. These are not cherry-picked. This is the average for an NFT community. This is what people rally around to tell each other what's going on, to commune. Now, we're going to take this community to a whole nother level. We're going to add some depth and weight to our Discord server for our NFT drop. Our Discord server is going to be somewhere where Valleywise professionals can be to share some of the resources for mental health, some of the things that millennials can get active with and volunteering. So in the future, you know, one of the things that we felt we could have benefited a lot was a common space for all of us emerging leaders to post what we're doing, share what's going on, be a soundboard for each other. And we hope that this Discord community can be that for emerging leaders in the future. A place where we can all go to safely share ideas, motivate each other, and come up with the tactics that will help Valleywise Health Foundation enter the new era of alternative giving.
So we would have two teams, the logistic and development team that is led by Juan, that will help with web design, coding, graphic design. He is actually a coder, so you're probably thinking in the back end, how is he going to create the algorithm? Boom! Marketing and outreach will be led by me, helping with the NFT drop, the community engagement, and increasing that visibility across social media. All our proceeds and sales will actually go to, from Viva Los Muertos, will go to support our family learning centers and behavioral health programs at Valleywise Foundation. Both like Juan and I were actually first generation, so we wanted to really pick a cause that supported us growing up. So this is why we felt really close to this pillar. Thank you.
All right, let's open it up to a couple of questions for this very enthusiastic team.
Congratulations, guys. That was an awesome presentation and so much energy. How much of your friends do you know also currently invest in Bitcoin? So were you really asking your own peers on who would be doing it?
Sure. I mean, it's probably easier for me to sit here and tell you who doesn't do Bitcoin or who doesn't do crypto, then yeah, most of my friends do. Now, I might be a skewed statistic because I'm an engineer, and I know a lot of engineers, and they happen to be early adopters. But overwhelmingly, this is something where if you're not actively participating in it, you have plans to get actively participated in. And we think this will be something that gets those on-off people on the boat.
Same, I work in IT, and that is actually a constant conversation that we have in a platform that we call Smack Talk, and that's always how we're learning the ins and outs of what's happening, and so that's a big thing in our team.
You guys are awesome. That was great. I love the creativity, obviously, the modern approach. You're meeting that generation kind of where they're at least where their head's at. I think this is a really cool way to kind of open that up. I haven't seen it done like this before, so that's super cool. I love the cultural heritage, too. You touched on it. I would just maybe give you a couple minutes to elaborate maybe how you keep them engaged in this. I think it's through the Discord communities, things like that. That's a really compelling component, so I just maybe give a little bit more time to describe.
Yes, so we want to share it on social media, whether it's through Twitter, Instagram. We do want to create a blog, so for those individuals that don't understand cryptocurrencies or how to get involved, there is already a couple blogs that exist out there, and so we would actually build on that to share, hey, maybe you haven't learned about it or heard about it, but let's show you how you can get involved and own the next Mona Lisa, but digital. And so we would use those platforms like Facebook. Valleywise has their own platforms, and since we already own our own domain, I think there's some things that we could do on our own as well through blogs and Facebook and advertisement. And I don't know, Juan, if you want to add to it.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I think the game plan here is to hit the ground running and start providing resources immediately. Is make our name loud and clear and why we're here. You know, Mr. Goodman, you spoke earlier about being a B Corp, right? Like that's why we're here. We're here to benefit others. So right off the bat, you don't have to buy a muerto to join the Discord. We don't want to create more barriers for people. We want to open up avenues. So you don't have to make a single purchase to be in the group. You can still come in and get resources. You can still come in and be connected to others in your community who are like-minded and trying to accomplish the same goals.
You went through the budget so quickly, and you did offer us to come back. So if this, how much do you need to recover the cost if this is a swing and a miss?
At 101 purchases, we become revenue positive.
Also, I like how you threw shade on the other groups with the hiking and the games and the going to bars. Well played.
We're all one team.
All right, that was awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You're really filling my hands. So now I'm going to ask the Sharks to grab your packets, and we'll take you back into the back room and have some discussions on come back out and announce our winner. Amazing.
Thank you, Sharks. We're going to talk about you guys when you leave, so. All right. Honestly, that was absolutely amazing. If we can just give. Thank you so much for all of that creativity. I know a lot of resources and time went into that, so we really, really appreciate all of you. I just want to give some of you the opportunity to come up and just kind of talk about what you've gotten out of this experience. Mentors and mentees, please. You know, just kind of share some of your experiences, something that you really pulled away from this that you felt was really positive or life-changing. I know I've spoken with several of you, and I know those experiences are out there, so I think it would be encouraging for the rest of the group to kind of learn what you've experienced in this program. So does anyone want to volunteer? Perfect. Yes, please.
All right. Oh, no. All right. So I think for me, it's really just been the relationships that I've got out of this amazing group, and everyone's just kindness. I've gone out of my way to kind of reach out to some of the people that are running this program, and Liz, Patty, just been so great to literally welcome me into their home and just have some amazing conversations that I think have been extremely impactful and just beneficial to me as I'm growing and as an emerging leader. And my team is super awesome. And Nate and Charles have just been so great. And I feel that every time that we meet together as a group, I always come out like, man, I got so much to do, and I can make a world change. And so thank you guys for constantly inspiring me throughout this process. It's been such a blessing. So that's my feedback.
Anyone else? Because I'll start calling names.
So I have a pretty unique opportunity to serve on both sides. As a mentee and also working for the foundation, it's been a super unique opportunity for me to see both sides and be a part of a community of young philanthropists. I'm a recent grad from ASU. I just graduated in May. So it's been awesome to be around, thank you. Not about that, but just to be around, people who are already starting their careers and have so much success and so much passion about the community. It's been really inspirational for me. So I appreciate not only my mentors, but the mentees I've been surrounded by over these past couple of months. You guys have really inspired me to stay focused, stay driven, but also just remember in my heart what my purpose is. So thank you all.
Anyone else? Any mentors who would like to share their experience with their group? Or
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I think the simplest way I can say what I'm feeling here without, giving an hour-long speech is that, this last year and a half has been really isolating. Even if you didn't mean it to, just comparatively, it's just how things kind of turned out. And this group has given me a lot of hope, that we can still move forward. There's still progress that can be done. You all have been a great example of that. There's still more I can do. There's still more we can do, and that means the world to me. And I'm glad that I've been able to be a part of this with you all to this point. I look forward to the experiences that are going to come forward. I'm just really excited about what we can do together and what we can do to inspire others to do more for their community, to do more for Arizona. And that has been really, really important for me. So thank you very much.
thank you for that. Thank you. Anyone else? Mentors. Leading the way. I'm staring. Exactly. Come on. Come on, Charles. You know you're coming. Yeah.
Put my glasses on.
Thank you, sir.
These lights are blinding me here. All this talent on the stage today. Man, you guys are awesome. As a mentor, you always look to impart something to someone. But one thing that I've learned through this group is that I've gotten a lot imparted into me. My mentees are awesome. Really, I don't know how you guys pick these guys, but man, just learning a lot from them. A lot of times you look at the news and you hear, oh, the world's coming to an end. These damn millennials, oh my God, they're the worst on the planet. But man, that is so far from the truth. Our nation, our country, our futures are in great hands with you guys. And I'm just honored to be a part of it. And hopefully continued success to all of you guys. Man, you guys rocked. That was awesome. I love my guys, man, but you guys rock. I gotta say it. I'm sorry. They were awesome. You all were awesome, but that was impressive. Just very, very yeah, anyways. But thank you guys, man. This program is awesome. I'm going to encourage anybody that I know in my community to get involved with this because, man, it's a life changer. It's a game changer. And thank you, Liz, for all your hard work. thank you, Valleywise, for even coming up with the idea of putting something like this together. And thanks, everybody, for your hard work. And, man, it was awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right. Anyone else before I hand it over to Nate and put him on the spot to say anything else? I don't know. We just need a little bit of Nate, that's all. Oh, I like that. Do you hear that? Nate's
What?
off.
I think we should get Juan back up here. This is the best time I'd had all week. and lots of shade thrown as. So, again, a giant thank you. Something that I keep in mind. Liz and I were actually talking about this. I feel like we're already in 2022. Our group, myself as a leader, I'm already trying to think about where are we going. And so one thing to keep in mind is we need to, as a group, create the self-sustaining engine that moves us forward. And so we will need mentors and mentees going into 2022. We would love to encourage all of you to participate in that. And I hope you feel that as a state of gratitude and just amazement for who we've gotten involved this year. I trust that all of you, per the saying, birds of a feather flock together. You all are so incredible that I'm sure that whomever you would introduce would follow suit. So we are thinking about 2022. Thank you so much for an incredible first year. We still have a little room to run on our runway to finish out this year, but you have blown my socks off. This has been so much better than what I could have ever imagined. Giant thank you to all of you. You put in a tremendous amount of work. I was a little nervous about calling upon you to join in our fundraising, but seeing the spirit today of you guys wanting to join our mission and give to our community and what we're doing from a health perspective has been inspiring as well. Our team works really hard day in and day out to fulfill what we're up to and the vision of transforming care to improve community health here in Arizona. So just a giant thank you. And I guess, what's that old saying? Sleep's a luxury. So for all of you that are, I can see, just tremendous hard workers for everything that you do, we'll crank into 2022 and keep creating a brighter future.
So just one last housekeeping item before Liz announces the winner as our sharks come back in. Yeah, go ahead. Following this, we'll have lunch at the little sandwich shop next door. So it's a grab and go. So you can grab your sandwich or whatever is included in the little grab bag. And thank you again, everybody. Such great ideas, such great engagement. Thank you again to our sharks for taking the time to join us today and offer great questions and feedback. And I'll turn it over to Liz now for our announcement.
And the winning cohort is the Mighty Titans.
Let's get to work.
Thank you guys, and we look forward to just starting to work on this project. We'll see everybody on Monday at 8 a.m. to get working on this project. And then, wait, we have one thing that we're going to play. You want to play the song? Yeah. So this was supposed to be on our presentation, but we decided just because of time, we wanted to hold it back. But we wanted you guys to join us to be a little poco loco and get on this cause.
Thank you so much, everybody.
So
Great job, everybody. Thank you
if
so
I could
much
make
for
a
that.
quick comment, just
Yeah.
kind of behalf of the judge, and actually, Adam was supposed to get up and reveal the winner in his overcoat. I'm kidding. You don't want that. You know, the consensus going back and talking and like listen to everybody's, you know, passion and spirit behind this is like, the way we understand is like everybody comes together to work on this stuff, which I think is super cool. But there's absolutely elements of like what all the groups were doing to be combined with this. The art that's going to be created, I know it's digital, but imagine getting together at the Churchill to experience that and bring the artists together and that kind of stuff. So hopefully your visions of what you want to do doesn't get lost and going to work on one thing, but you bring all that together. But super inspiring. This was fun.
Alrighty, so it's dismissal time. There's grub next door if you want to grab something to eat, but feel free to mingle and chat with each other. But thank you again, everybody.